A very good afternoon. I hope you're all having a great day today. Thank you so much for taking the time to attend today's webinar. I am Sharda, a product expert in ADSelfService Plus from the marketing team of ManageEngine, and I will be your presenter for today. Before we get into the session, I would like to quickly check if my voice is audible and the display is well and clear. If you have no trouble with hearing my voice or seeing the screen, please drop in a yes message in the questions tab allocated to you. Thank you so much. So yes, we are going to be talking about the power of password self-service. Why do we need to manage passwords? This is very important. I'm sure you would have faced a situation with a lot of help desk calls in your organization where users call the help desk and say that they have trouble logging into their system because they've probably forgotten their passwords, or they've been logged out of their accounts, or if their passwords have expired and they don't remember it anymore. So yes, the recent Gartner report that came out said that almost 40% of the help desk call that any organization receives, irrespective of the size, is because of the password management troubles. This is exactly what we're trying to deal with using an application like ADSelfService Plus. So this is why I think it is important to manage passwords. And when we talk about password management, it is not you, an administrator or a IT help desk technician, who help users take care of their own passwords, because we have moved far into cloud technology where users know how to take care of their own passwords. For instance, I'm sure you have a Facebook account, and when was the last time you remember calling somebody or writing a mail to somebody saying you do not remember your Facebook password anymore, or you would like to reset your Facebook password because you've been logged out or you do not have access? So with the emerging technology, users have been able to self-service their own passwords across multiple applications, including social media applications, their mail accounts, and a lot of applications that they use for business as well. So why not when it comes to Active Directory? The major reason being the native Windows Active Directory environment does not have a built-in support for password self-service. So even if you would like to eliminate password-related help desk calls, even if you would like users to take care of their own password self-service, the native Active Directory does not have a provision where users can go through with the same. This is exactly why it is important, or it becomes a necessity to depend on another application. And in this case, I'm going to be talking about how ADSelfService Plus is going to help you with the same. And yes, the other reasons why password management becomes important is because of security breaches. Once again, from another report that I read recently, said that the 80-20 rule, which is something that we would have come across usually in economics, also holds good when it comes to passwords and security breaches. That is, 80% of the security breaches that has happened in today's world is because of the 20 most commonly the most common factors that can easily lead to a security breach. That is, 80% of the trouble is because of the 20% of the factor that we are well aware of. And not surprisingly, one of the easiest way to cause the security breach is by misusing a person's identity, a user's identity, or breaking in or hacking into their system. So passwords is the easiest way to break into your network, to break into a user's system. And it is very, very important for us to secure passwords. That is what we are also going to be talking about today. So when I said the power of password self-service, we're not only going to be talking about Active Directory password self-service management, we're also going to be talking a little about cloud technology, how you can empower users in your organization to take care of their own password self-service, not only for their Windows Active Directory, but their Office 365 accounts, their Salesforce accounts, G Suite, and many more. How ADSelfService Plus as a password self-service management tool can help users in your organization not only take care of password self-service, but at the same time ensure security. So I wanted to start the session by talking about or giving a quick brief on why password management is important, to just bring us all together in and make sure that we're on the same page. And now, quickly jumping into the agenda, we're going to look at the solution. The solution that I am going to be talking about today is ManageEngine ADSelfService Plus, an integrated password self-service and single sign-on solution. So ADSelfService Plus is a web-based application. It's easy to download. As usual, go to the ADSelfService Plus webpage, hit the download option, and you can deploy and get started using ADSelfService Plus in less than 30 minutes. Precisely less than 30 minutes is all that is needed to get started working with ADSelfService Plus in your organization. So I'm going to show you how this works. I'm going to walk you through how to use ADSelfService Plus, walk you through an administrator's perspective of configuring the solution and getting started working with it. And if you have any questions, please keep them coming in the questions tab. I will take time to answer during the session itself. This will make the session better for both of us because I get more interested answering your questions and giving you all the information that I have about ADSelfService Plus. And if time doesn't permit, not to worry, the last 10 minutes of today's session is dedicated for question and answers. So you can save your questions for the end of the session. Also, a quick reminder, the video of this particular workshop will be available online. But if you would like to receive a personal copy, drop in your mail IDs in the questions tab or chat box allocated to you. With that said, I'm going to quickly walk you through what we're going to be dealing with today before I jump into the ADSelfService Plus web application. So we're going to see how to deploy ADSelfService Plus for not only your on-premise Active Directory password management, but like I said, cloud application password management as well, like Office 365. I'm going to show you how to work with Office 365 today. We're going to look at a real case of a password reset, which is not possible from your native Windows Active Directory. I'm also going to show you how users can unlock their account. Once again, if you think security is a concern, not at all when it comes to ADSelfService Plus, because I'm going to also walk you through how to secure the password reset process, how to secure passwords itself with a password policy enforcer, how to permit unlock user accounts for specific users, depending on OUs and groups present in the Active Directory. So a lot of that revolving around the native policies, the Active Directory policies. And I'm also going to show you how to audit user self-service actions. So when I say empower users to password self-service, we're not going to hand over the torch of password self-service and just leave it at that. We're going to see everything and anything that happens in the password management environment under one single tab. We're going to audit user self-service actions, create alert notifications and all that right from one single console. And that is what you're going to see right now, the ADSelfService Plus password self-service management portal. So this web-based application can be accessed via your mobile as well. Logging in as an administrator, the first step that you would do when you download and get started working with ADSelfService Plus for the very first time is configure your domain. It is a simple process. enter the domain name, add your domain controller. You can discover them right here if you're in the same network, and authenticate your identity by giving in the domain username and credentials, and you're good to go. So I've pre-configured this for you. You can see that the status is success. And since I have only one domain here, I'm working only with one domain today, which is SSP Workshop. I've set it as my default domain. I can go back and make changes right here. I can update domain objects and delete this domain if I wish to work with another domain. ADSelfService Plus also allows you to configure multiple domains. So that's about it. And yes, like I said, if you feel that I'm running through the session, or if you have any questions about what I'm covering, please feel free to drop in a question in the questions tab, or write a comment in the chat box so I can make the session much interesting and better for you. All right, so the first thing that you see as soon as you log in is the dashboard. So the dashboard will give you a quick insight into what is the status of your password environment. So I do not have I do not have users whose passwords are going to expire anytime soon. I also do not have logged out users, but yes, quite a few password expired users right here. Also, the dashboard will give you a quick jump to the highlight sections of ADSelfService Plus. You can also access them right here under the configuration tab. So it all starts with setting up a policy. So what is the ADSelfService Plus policy? A policy is nothing but giving permission to users to take care of their own self-service actions. So you can customize this right here. You can either restrict use self-service to certain actions or give them access to them all. So I'm going to just do that right now for you. Finance, I'm going to set up a self-service policy under the name Finance. Choosing OUs and groups is an important factor. This is something that requires a little logic, simply because you cannot have multiple policies with different configuration rules which override each other. So that can lead into trouble, because ADSelfService Plus automatically prioritizes the policy that is given priority, which is reordered. So yes, I'm working with the OU Sharada, and I'm going to give this access to all users belonging to finance. I can do the same and work around with groups. The groups are listed right there. But I'm working with OUs. I'm going to configure a self-service policy. And there I am. I'm good to go. So I've given permissions for all these self-service actions for all these users. I'm also going to quickly show you what I've done in my ADUC console. So I've created an organization unit under my name, which is Sharada, and I've sorted users into each of these OUs and labeled them as admin, finance, and HR. Trying to replicate a small organization, I've sorted users into each of these groups. So in a typical ADSelfService Plus environment, if I'm working with these many users, limited users, I'm sure this is not anything more than 20. ADSelfService Plus is absolutely free for up to 50 domain users. So yes, once this is done, once I've set up self-service policies, I'm good to go. So what I'm going to do is, since users belonging to these policies have self-service actions, I'm going to try and see what happens when a user tries to log into their ADSelfService Plus portal for the very first time. So I am going to log in as myself. And there I have a message which says, welcome to this portal. This portal offers you the power of password self-service. Coincidentally, that's the name of our webinar today. And yes, I need to enroll to enjoy these benefits. So what is enrollment? This is very, very important. So when I said ADSelfService Plus ensures security, ADSelfService Plus does not compromise on the security that you provide in your organization. This is typically what I meant. So when you provide the permission to password self-service, I give users the permission to take care of their own password reset process or change password operation, which simply means that I am also making it easier for an attacker to reset the password and gain access to the system. Believe it when I say this. This is from all the research that I do before preparing myself for any session. One of the most commonly used method to break into a network, like I said, is passwords. But once again, the reset password operation is the quickest way for any hacker or any person who's trying to be a threat to an organization, both inside and external threats. The easiest way to break into your network or system is by going through a reset password operation. So it is very, very important to secure the reset password process. And it is proven that a password, in spite of all the complexity rules that you lay on any password, is not enough or can be compromised. And that is exactly why we need an additional layer of security. And that is what ADSelfService Plus enrollment is all about. This is basically letting users choose an additional method to secure their password reset process. So when I'm stressing so much on security, you must be wondering why I am in the security question answer page. Yes, I'm sure you would do your reading as well when it comes to security threats that your organization might receive. And security question answer is definitely not the recommended method when it comes to securing or adding an additional layer. Obviously, it depends on the type of question. So when I'm saying, what is your favorite color, and giving the answer black, that is pretty obvious because your best friend can know the answer to it. When I say the name of your favorite cousin or what is your pet's name, that is something that 50% of the people in your life might know the answer to. So it is very, very important to have multiple layers of security, and that is why we support multi-factor authentication. But the reason why security question answer is the default method is because it is extremely simple to configure. And it is also very easy to import enrollment data when you're getting started working with ADSelfService Plus. But once again, you as an administrator or an IT specialist or a network specialist have the privilege to change the default enrollment method to something else. It could be the verification code. It could be the ADSelfService Plus mobile application. It could be duo security radius authentication. So I'm going to walk you through all the methods that we support quickly. But since the security question answer is the default method, I'm going to try and pick answers for myself right here. So yes, I have given the answers to my security questions and I can hit enroll. So once my enrollment is successful, only when I've enrolled with ADSelfService Plus will the application allow any user to go through a successful password reset process. If not, it is not possible to proceed, because when the user is not able to confirm his identity by proving it more than with just a password, it is not possible for ADSelfService Plus to verify his identity. Therefore, authentication will not happen. Therefore, the user will be denied permission to password reset. So that is typically a kind of situation we're trying to avoid, because the idea of a password self-service solution is to empower users to take care of their own password self-service. We do not want to lay more difficulty on the user, wherein the user calls up the help desk and says, hey buddy, why don't you just reset my password? It's much easier that way. That is exactly what we're trying to avoid. So enrollment plays a very key role. It is very important for a user to enroll with ADSelfService Plus the very first time they log in. The user can also go through a successful change password operation. So the domain password policy is listed right there. All I have to do is given my old password, key in my new password, and hit change password. And if the user belonging to that particular self-service policy has the permission to self-service a change password operation, then they will be able to proceed with this successfully. The same holds good with self-update of personal information. This is something that a lot of organizations have trouble with, simply because people can change their telephone number, their mobile number, their address can change, people relocate. So it is not practically possible for the HR department or any particular department in your organization to keep updating personal information. So you can customize this particular page as an administrator such that when a user has a change of a telephone number or an address or any of the information that is required for your organization, they can quickly self-update user properties, which is reflected in AD real time. I'm going to quickly show you that the random number that I just inputted right here as telephone number is reflected in my ADUC real time. So any change that happens in your ADSelfService Plus environment is reflected real time. Any change password operation, any password resets, self-updates, anything and everything that you change that a user goes through in the ADSelfService Plus environment, be it the web page, the web console, or the mobile app, is reflected real time in your AD. So this is about the self-service that the user can do, but this is the minimal that you have provided permission to as an administrator. You can also empower users to subscribe to mail groups. So you can edit the self-update layout right there. You can give them the option of employee search, and at the same time, you can also give them an option of subscribing to mail groups. Like I said, once again, this is specific to domains. It can be specific to groups. It can be specific to users. You can create, it's specific to OUs and groups as well. So yes, you can provide users the permission to subscribe to and out of mail groups. So that can be done right here. So once you select your domain, you can select the mail groups and also customize it specific to users when you don't want everybody and anybody to go through a mail subscription or an unsubscription. So yes, this can be customized too. This comes under self-service as well. So jumping into multi-factor authentication, a quick walkthrough. Like I said, any self-service policy that you've created, when you're working with ADSelfService Plus, anything and everything that you configure can be customized specific to the self-service policies that you've created. So for the policy admin, for the users belonging to admin, you can set up security question answer as the default multi-factor authenticator or the secondary factor of authentication, but you can take it a step forward, enable verification code. You can go ahead with Google Authenticator, do a security, all that and much more. So one of the easiest and fuss-free methods of multi-factor authentication that I would definitely recommend is the verification code, simply because it's an enrollment-free method of authentication. The email address or the mobile number is an Active Directory attribute, which is mandatory in most organizations. Therefore, it can be automatically fetched from your Active Directory. So the user does not have to manually go and do an enrollment process from their self-service portal. So I'm going to quickly walk you through that right now. What I'm going to try and do is sign out from Sharda and try and log in as Adam. So I have a message which says your password is expired, so please see your system administrator. Unfortunately, I do not remember my password. And now I have a message which says unable to log you on because your account has been logged out. So please contact your administrator. So this is a typical situation which is going to lead to a password related help desk call. But when I'm saying password self-service, what your user would automatically do is navigate here to the account locked on icon and try to unlock his account because he has had multiple password failures. His account is locked down. I'm going to click on continue and see what happens. There I go. I have a message which says that I'm required to enroll with the security question answer and log in if I remember my password and enroll. And if I don't, then this is going to put me in trouble because I need to contact my administrator in order to gain access to my system. So this is typically what we are trying to avoid. So what I'm going to do is, as an administrator, go to the reports tab, take a quick look at the password expired users. I have quite a few users whose passwords have already expired. Right there. Quite a few users right there. And there you see Adam is definitely one of them. What I'm going to do is cross-verify it with the non-enrolled users report because I know for certain that users whose passwords have expired and users who have not enrolled with ADSelfService Plus will definitely contact the help desk. And I would like to avoid that. I want users to take care of their own password self-service. So all I can do is simply create a group or an organizational unit specific to these users. And once that is done, under the configuration tab, I can create a self-service policy for those users. And under multi-factor authentication, I give them the access for the verification code method of authentication. So for the policy HR, I am going to enable verification code method of authentication. Successfully updated, very, very simple. So let me repeat the account lockdown process for Adam once again this time and see what happens. Am I seeing some change or am I still logged out? There you go. Luckily, I don't have a prompt which says I've not enrolled, whereas I have a message which says send the verification code to a particular email ID. I'm going to choose that. What I've done in the background is created one ID, one email address, that is sharda.workshop@gmail.com, and added that as the default mail attribute for all the users, all the test users that I've created. Convenient enough for me because I will now access that mail account and see if I do have a verification code. Logging in as Adam. Let me see if Adam has a mail. There, a password reset confirmation. Dear Adam, we understand that you want to reset your password. So this is something that is definitely very, very personal. Your mail ID is not something that anybody else other than you uses or anybody else other than your user uses. Same with the mobile number. So in this case, it is very, very convenient for a user to choose the verification code, enter it right there, enter the CAPTCHA, click on continue, and I need to redo the CAPTCHA just to ensure that it's not a machine that is doing it. That's about it. A couple of clicks, a simple couple of clicks, and my account has been unlocked. This is definitely not possible in the native Windows Active Directory environment, but with ADSelfService Plus, you can allow users in your organization to go about and unlock their own account. Because once again, like we said, we do have quite a few account lockout cases, but I'm pretty sure that almost 70% of it is because of a password error, multiple wrong passwords, because you know how difficult it is to remember complicated passwords because we try to bring in um, more characters, more complexity to our passwords in order to keep our password secure. And the second day, we do not remember it. That is something that I face. There are so many times that I do not remember my password. But I do not have to worry because all I have to do is hit the forgot your password link, go through a password reset process, verify my identity, authenticate my identity, go through a password reset process, and choose a password and hopefully remember it and make sure that I do not forget it again. So pretty much that is simply how we go about it. So I'm going to go through a password, forgot your password operation as well. Let me do it for Adam itself. Let's pretend that Adam does not remember his password. Once again, I have to choose the verification code method of authentication, clicking on continue. I have a time left for this operation to finish. Quickly checking if I've received an email. Yes, I have. Copying the code, pasting the verification code once again, entering the CAPTCHA, clicking on continue, and this time I've been redirected to the reset password page. Once again, I have a time ticking. The password policy listed right here. Like I said, you can customize this as well. With the help of ADSelfService Plus, you can enforce a granular password policy right there. So for the policy HR, I can enforce a custom password policy wherein I say the minimum length has to be 8. I have to include 2 special characters. I should have both upper and lower cases, disallow a character more than twice consecutively, 5 characters from a username. These are rules that have become that have pretty much become mandatory because these are based on trends, based on hacking trends that's happening.